Twitch just asked me to do a thing. Thank you so much for being here, everyone, whether you're watching this live or later on YouTube. I am... Wait, I'm sorry. I have to look at this message. No! Okay, everyone needs to send a collective get well soon message to Torden Strike, who would usually be here right now saying something like, bonsoir. Torden Strike got super glue on her eye while repairing. She's probably really upset that I'm sharing this. This seems personal. Is this a HIPAA violation? Anyway, no. Get well soon, Torden Strike. I apologize if that upset you, that I just said that out loud. I hope that you are fine and that you have a speedy recovery. Anyways, today is the last episode of Cat Calls of Season 4. I will be back in 2024 with a whole new slew of guests. And this year, a lot of shit went down, okay? I had a knee injury. I traveled too much over the summer. And I was looking back on YouTube and I only did like 8 cat calls this year, which is insane. So there will definitely be more next year, but you can see all of this year's cat calls from previous episodes on my YouTube channel here at youtube.com/catbindtv. You can also see cat calls episodes from previous seasons as I'm surfing through here. Slushy, Tennyson, all great episodes. Slumberjack, even further back in time. Proper Villains. And what's that? Is that Baby Weight, today's guest? Yes, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But if you're looking for the most recent, they will all be here on the live channel because I have been streaming to YouTube recently. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. I don't know. But you'll see that this episode will be there. And Juku and Sanholo and Miha, they're all on there. I want to also give a shout out to my newsletter, Cat Scrawls, which you should absolutely follow. It is free to subscribe, and you'll get an email in your inbox about once a week, and it'll be different subjects. I have a podcast, which usually features old interviews that I've done with artists for publications such as Billboard, Miami New Times, Spin, the Grammys websites is one I'll be having coming up soon. But that's not just the written interviews, that is the audio from my original interview with the artist. And that's just for paid tier subscribers. So if you're not interested in that, you don't have to pay. But if you're interested in supporting me for the work that I do here on Cat Calls or with Cat Scrawls or with some of the vlogs that I do, anything that I do that is not part of some other publication, I'm doing for free out of the goodness of my heart for you. And I'm broke as a joke because of all the traveling I did over the summer. So it would be nice if you showed your support. And for Christmas, Santa brought me a paid sub, but it is not a requirement. I will keep doing all of this shit for the culture, Speaking of fun things I did for the culture, I want to share a little bit of the video from when I went to London this year for the Ed Banger 20th anniversary party as we take a look back. It might just be a fun thing. It might just be a fun thing to relive. And this video is on my YouTube page if you want to watch it. This particularly is 20 uncut minutes from Justice's set that night at Printworks, RIP Printworks. As you can see, it was fucking crazy. I also have about a 40-minute video of clips from that set that I recorded and I strung together into one continuous video. So if you want to feel like you were there at the Printworks finale Justice Ed Banger 20th anniversary party, you can watch it, and you will have to listen to me scream, but it was one of the greatest DJ sets I've ever seen, so I have no regrets. My friend Lisa and Jose are in this video as well, briefly. I had hair then. I was actually on crutches at this show because I had knee surgery 8 days earlier, but I'm a trooper. And if you're watching, you should say hello in the chat. I see you watching. I see you. Oh, that jacket had just been released. Very, very cool. What was your favorite part of 2023? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. What was your favorite show that you went to in 2023? This was mine. Unequivocally, this Ed Banger 20th anniversary concert was my favorite. And I wrote about it for my newsletter. And that was my most read newsletter of the year. And I included that in my annual recovery. I'm sorry. I just saw a message from Torn and Strike. So I said recovery because I was thinking about her in the hospital. My annual review, which is right here. These are my top stories of 2023. It's me here, Inception. Oh, my interview with Jolie and Asia, which is on YouTube, broke 5,000 views. That's very exciting. My interview with LP Joby was great. This was the essay about going to the Ed Banger party. There I am. There we are. That was the lineup. It was fucking crazy. I had to go. And check this out. This kid was cool. Artemis. Shout out Chris as well. Where's my shirt picture? Oh my god, I got all of them to sign my shirt. It was very fun. It was very fun. What a year. What a time. But in just a moment, we will be wrapping this year up. For catcalls at least. LP Joby's full name is Long Pilayer Joby. That's right, Joey Headset. Good to see ya. Joey, what was your favorite part of 2023? Did you have a favorite concert that you went to? Did you have a favorite album, a favorite release? The next newsletter that I send out is going to be my favorite songs. Oh, that was me celebrating the fact that I didn't have to wear shoes at this concert. When is that ever the case? Wasn't worth knee surgery to have this ADA seating, but the ADA seating did come in clutch thanks to my knee surgery. 8 days before this video was taken. Oh goodness, 8 days before I got on a plane. But so the next newsletter that I send out is going to be my favorite songs of 2023. So make sure you subscribe, get that into your email, or just follow me on social media and you'll see when I post things. But it's better if you subscribe. Wow, that's me. I was having the time of my fucking life. But I still don't, Rumble was my most played song by Skrillex and Fred again on Spotify. This year you've been having too much fun making extremely dumb music with generative AI. That's so fun though. Have you ever shared the songs you've made with AI in the Discord? Because you should, I would love to hear it. My cousin Kian was showing me all kinds of insane songs that have been made with AI. Alright. Look at all these people having fun. What a great show. Aw, these kids and their hug dancing. Justice and Ed Banger will really bring out the hug dancing in you. Oh, here it comes. I didn't even hear it that time. Oh, this is so cute. I haven't watched this in so long. I'm gonna have to sit and just watch this video because it's fun. But you know what? It's about time. Damn, what a concert. But that's it. That's all you get. That's all you get today. Because it is now 10 minutes after the hour and it is now time to start the show. For the last time in 2023, let's play the intro. And for the last time ever, let's play this intro. The intro to season 4, starring Sydney Pooch. Shout out when you see Sydney. Dogs in the chat. start the show and let's fucking end the season. This is the final episode of Cat Calls Season 4. Thank you so much for joining, whether you're live here in the chat with me and Joey Headset, or whether you're watching this later on YouTube, where all the episodes of Cat Calls go when they are done streaming. And in January, they will begin to be available on DSPs everywhere. That's right, Cat Calls is coming to Spotify, it's coming to Apple Music, it's coming to maybe Tidal. I don't know how this shit works. I still have to do my research and set it all up, but I can promise you that that will be happening in January of 2024. But we're not here to talk about the future, and we're not here to talk about the past. Actually, we are here to talk about the past a little bit, because this is going to be a bit of an annual review. And of course, it being the last Cat Calls of the year, you know what that means. We're back with our annual year-end interview with my girl. Everyone give it up to the inimitable, the opinionated, the ever-chatty, the always hungry, and the most funky. Give it up for Baby Weight. Yes! The claps better be ringing through the fucking stadium. I know, Baby Weight. If you don't know Baby Weight, then you must be new to Cat Calls, because this tradition started 3 years ago after I sent out a call for guests for season 2. Baby Weight nominated herself over Twitter, and we became friends over the years, speaking over the internet and meeting each other in person at different events and things and random moments. We meet each other at least once randomly without expecting to during the year. This year it was on a plane. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. Anyway, I had Baby Weight on as the last guest of season 2, and she said, we should do this every year. And I was like, why the hell not? You're such a great interview to have. Like, she's so full of wonderful things to say at the drop of a dime. And so now this has kind of become like our version of Billie Eilish and Vogue do the same interview every year, except for that it's nothing like that fucking at all. Except for the fact that, you know, it's repeated. But we always have a great time chatting. She had a great year this year. She released 2 EPs. She released the It's Giving EP and Who Do You EP. Her song Slay For Me became the anthem of World of Wonders summer tour and was played on stage by the drag queens of the Drag Race alumni. And she just released her latest single, Fear Is the Weapon, on Fatboy Slim's Southern Fried Records. Baby Weight is going to talk our ears off in the best way possible, so I'm going to hurry up and cut to Fear Is the Weapon, and when we come back, Baby Weight will be on the line, so bring your questions, bring your own wine. I'm going to have some wine as well. It is time. This is Fear of the Weapon. Fear is the Weapon. Fear of the Weapon? Fear is the Weapon. Fear of a Black Planet. That's an album you should listen to as well. This is Fear is the Weapon. Oh my fucking god. Let's do this.
Fear is the weapon. 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 Free yourself from hate. Open up your mind. Fear is the weapon. Criticize the void. Love the enigma and learn self-control. Fear is the weapon. It's time to let it go. 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 Fear is the weapon. Time to let it go. Fear is the weapon. 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 Fear is the weapon.
To us from Vaporwave Central. I'm eternally jealous of this entire mood. And she is the queen. She's actually not going to talk this time. It's just going to be me.
I'm just going to be an NPC on TikTok.
Yeah, ice cream's so good. At what point in a DJ's career do they say, should I just pivot and become an NPC on TikTok? Will that be more rewarding?
The moment that they look at their bank account and go, Mama's got bills to pay.
I feel that. Okay, right before we went live, I had shushed you as lovingly as I possibly could because I wanted you to tell me the story behind this Celine fucking Dion shirt that we all just saw you wearing in your live set earlier this year at Rainbow USA, I think it was called, but I could be wrong.
Might as well be called Rainbow USA. It took a village to put on that event, and that village was incredibly gay, so it might as well be Rainbow USA. So I saw a Broadway show or off-Broadway show this past February. I went with a friend of mine, Remnique, and their wife, Kayla. And the name of the show was Titanic. And Titanic, if you haven't heard of it, is a dramatic retelling of the sinking of the Titanic.
Oh, wow.
Through the eyes of Celine Dion, as if she was actually there. and all of the music is Celine Dion. And it's hilarious. It's one of the single most hysterical pieces of theatrical fiction I have ever witnessed in my life.
Stunning review.
And so that's merch from this show. They were selling T-shirts at the bar that said Celine fucking Dion.
Incredible.
And I had to have one.
Of course. And it was stunning. Yeah.
It has become a staple of my on stage wardrobe this past year. I've worn it multiple times.
Do you get a lot of nice compliments?
I get a lot of people doing these. I do get people sometimes in the comments because the promoters who threw that Rainbow Rave, they've reposted clips from that multiple times, and whenever they do, obviously they tag me. And when they do, there's always at least one or two comments that's just that Celine Dion shirt is remarkable.
They're like, the DJ's okay, but that Celine Dion shirt.
Yeah, the DJ's, but the Celine Dion t-shirt.
Book that shirt again. Bring that shirt to Brazil.
We want to see that Chet in Colombia. Make it happen.
Okay, but the reason we had that footage is because I just set that to the tune of your latest single, Fear is the Weapon, out now on Southern Fried Records. Everyone go rinse the shit out of it. When did you become so political? Because I just am not used to that from you.
When did I be? Oh gosh, I guess I decided 3 weeks ago. I'm just going to be overtly political in all of my messages.
Hence the Microsoft MS Paint background.
Yes. This message is Microsoft superiority.
Ooh, starting fights.
Starting fights. But that argument only really applies in the year 1996. So, like...
That's true. Hence the nostalgic, sun-bleached color palette.
If we were in 1996 and somebody was just like, oh, my little Apple computer, Microsoft users would just be like, get out of the way. Fucking move, dog. Nobody.
Apple did absolutely smash it with those clear, colorful computers that were in every school office across America. That was definitely the beginning of the takeover.
When the iMac came out circa Josie and the Pussycats, whatever year that came out.
That's how you keep time.
that's how I keep time. Is it pre-Josie or post-Josie in the Pussycats? Was it before Josie and the Pussycats when it was just Josie, or was it post Pussycats?
Post Pussycats.
Where it's Josie and the Pussycats.
Science.
But like when those computers started taking over, I remember the ones that you were talking about because there was like a blue one and a pink one and a green one and
Taste the rainbow.
like when people realized like, oh my god, a Macintosh computer can be good. I want to say that's kind of like when you can start to make that argument that Microsoft is not as good anymore. But
rewind. Talk to us about Fear is the Weapon.
Oh, Fear is the Weapon. Yeah, back on that old horse. So that track started out as a remix of another track. And I really didn't like the direction that was going in. And so I tinkered around with it for a while. And I really liked that kind of like how hard it went. It was kind of like a chugging roller kind of thing. And it was missing something. So I forgot where I read it. I think it was like some book or something. I was just going through books trying to find phrases or sentences or whatever. And I came across one where like in the middle of a sentence it said fear is the weapon. And I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And so I wrote down this poem to kind of like figure out my thoughts or whatever. And then it was pretty much off to the races. I showed it to my team. My team really liked it. Around the same time, we got an email from somebody who oversees the A&R for Southern Fried Records, and they said that they were really into the music I had been making recently. And so we kind of sent it to them like, okay, cool. Well, we just finished this. What do you think of this? Just as like, you know, like a feedback type thing. And we pretty much got an email back right away that was just like, Fatboy Slim loves it. We'd love the song.
I love that.
and so it was like, oh, okay. So like that track was like literally, you know, kind of sent out and signed within the span of a day.
Oh my God. When does that ever happen?
Almost never.
Yeah. Thanks, Fatboy.
Thank you, Fatboy Slim. Love you. Thank you, Norm.
Norman fucking Cook. Joey Headset in the chat. I would accept him telling me that he fucking loves anything that I do. That would be great. I would just like to get that message more.
It was a very humbling. It was very humbling.
Yeah, we all grew up on Fatboy Slim.
Or I should say, it's the like humbling is like when you're brought down a peg. I think flattering.
Yeah.
Like I found myself kind of going like, okay. And this is as somebody who's like, you know, whenever I see like whenever I go record hunting.
Yeah.
Because I do it sometimes, like when I have time to kill.
Are you a DJ?
No, seriously.
Have you ever thought about DJing?
I could consider it.
It might be something to put on your list of like things to try in 2024.
You know what? New year, new me.
Exactly.
So sometimes when I go like digging for records, because I collect them even though I have nothing to play them on anymore.
Oh yeah.
It is what it is. Sorry, I keep like clearing my throat.
That's all right. Let me clear my throat. I had to do it the other day too. Why don't we take a sip,
so
everyone?
let me wash it down with an ice cold liquid death.
Yeah. Everyone has to take, Joey, you have to take a sip of something. Everyone who's just lurking in the chat, I hope you're also drinking either water or wine. Jesus approves both.
This liquid death really does murder my thirst. The severed lime is one of 5 delicious flavors that you can choose from. And if that's not your vibe, they just have still and unflavored sparkling options as well.
What incredible options.
Yeah, liquid death.
Sponsor me, senpai. I was talking to...
Murder your thirst.
I was talking to somebody on the spin team over the weekend. I was at a spin party during Art Basel, and we were chatting about sponsors and going out and doing more video work over the year. And he was like, well, but we'd have to find a way to really make the sponsor feel organic. And I was like, no. You can literally just be like, wow, I'm so thirsty. Thank you to Red Bull or Liquid Death or whoever the fuck.
A real Wayne's World 2 moment.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no need to have any... No, fuck it. Remember when someone got like something.com tattooed on their face? Early days.
Yeah. No reason to be like SanDisk USBs, the preferred USBs of every DJ. SanDisk USBs. No reason to do that.
Getting money.
Yeah.
No, but that's cool. You actually had quite a lot of releases get some love from the big DJs. You were talking to me about how who all was playing Slay for Me in their sets that you didn't even realize it. That's the crazy thing. Yesterday we had an hour-long talk, just the two of us girlfriends in the back, and you can release something and have no idea what's happening with it in the world of DJs.
Sure. So this has happened twofold. But the big one, the big what the fuck moment, there was this track that I had made that came out last year called We Work It. It samples Gene Ferris's voice, came out on Ferris Wheel. We thought it did okay. But like streaming wise on Spotify, like the numbers were decent, but like nothing to write home about. Lo and behold, over on Apple Music over the last year, it's like, you know, like 70,000 streams or whatever. And it's getting played by like Nicole Mudaber and Idris Elba and Clapton. And you're just going like, here's this track that I thought did not do well at all. And it's just like thriving on this other service. It's just, I guess, a lesson for us that like Spotify is not the be all end all.
No matter what Wrapped would have us believe with all of its social posts.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like Spotify, yeah, is like a huge platform or whatever. But like, you know, there's so many other places where your track is doing well. I realized when Slay for Me came out, like it did okay. like, I think it got like some love on like, you know, the like New Music Friday playlists or whatever. And it wound up on the Ballroom playlist on Spotify, which is like an editorial playlist. But like that playlist, you know, 20,000 people listen to it. And, you hear that and you go like, oh my God, 20,000 people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. But it's like when you look at like the Housework playlist, for example, that's like 1 million people who listen to that every day. So, you know, it's like context means everything.
But
and
still,
so, like,
20,000 people is a lot of people, you know?
Yeah. And like it did okay. Like, you know, it was doing all right numbers, whatever. And then it got like premiered on BBC Radio 1. Shout out to Sarah Story. Like she and her team really loved it. Jaguar really loved it on BBC Introducing. Like they showed it a lot of love. But like right out the gate, like it did okay, but like nothing extreme, right? Like not like Bianco just put out that track like Above the Wall or Against the Wall or whatever after it went viral on TikTok, and it has like a million streams in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Like something crazy like that. Like we weren't hitting those numbers. But week over week, it just kept getting more and more and more streams. And I kept going like, where is this coming from? Well, lo and behold, you have DJs in the European market rinsing it at like all these pride parties. And so like, you know, people are like adding it to their playlists that way. And then the big one was it got used by World of Wonder and Voss Events for the Work the World tour. They had drag queens on this international tour from RuPaul's Drag Race, like voguing to Slave for Me, which like I didn't find out about until August when somebody had tagged me in something. It was like somebody from the DC area who was at the DC show that night.
So
who was just
fun.
like, oh my God, DC represent at Babyweight Music. I was just like, what is going on? And well, yeah, like, so you never know where your music is.
Yeah.
And like, I just want that to be a story for anybody who winds up listening to this or winds up watching this and they're feeling bad because like, I don't know, maybe like, oh, my track didn't do as well as I thought it did. Well, no, tracks sometimes take forever to find people.
Mm-hmm. And that goes
Kate
for
Bush running up that hill being a prime example. Like, you know,
exactly.
That track came out late 70s, early 80s. I forget exactly when it came out. But like that track came out 40 years ago. And then it took Stranger Things like 3 years ago for that track to just explode. So, you know, you just have to be patient. It's years, not days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's...
Yep. I like that as a story and something to share with folks at this time of year because, you know, the end of the year, going into the beginning of the next one, we're all dreaming big about, well, I shouldn't speak for everyone, but it's traditional to come up with new goals and have all these lofty ideas of what you might accomplish. And then somewhere, you know, 3 to 6 months later, you get disheartened, you get upset. You say, this isn't the life-changing year I thought it was going to be. But the truth is, every time you create something and you put it out into the world, that is a huge step forward to whatever your goal is, because you don't know who that's resonating with. You don't know who's absorbing it and being moved by it, whether it's one person, 1,000 people, 1 million people. And that's worth it. I mean, money is nice. We want to get paid.
It's so funny. I just played a sold out show at Avant Gardner in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah. How was that? Talk to me about that, but finish your story as well.
I'll get to how it was in just a second, but like afterward, I was walking through the crowd to get to my green room because they kind of like split up the artists amongst various green rooms just so that everyone had like space to breathe. So I'm going like towards my green room that I was sharing with Vanessa. And somebody stopped me and was just like, "Oh my God, you played a great set." Thank you. And they were just like, "I've seen you play multiple times." We're like, "Thank you." And then they say, "You never play Shuffle Baby." I'm like, "Come again?" And they're like, "You never play Shuffle Baby." And Shuffle Baby is a track that came out like 2021. And they're right. It's not a track I play out all the time because it's not really my sound anymore. But I was just like, that's of everything in my discography, that's what you want to hear. It's just like, it's not House Princess. It's not Slay For Me. It's not the Bread song, which is like the funny one everyone wants to hear. And for anyone who likes that song and is coming to see me play anytime in the future, I want you to know I love you, but I need a break from that song. I need some time away from it.
I need a gluten-free diet on my sets right now.
She's got celiacs. But I was just like, again, going back to your point, you're never really, some of the tracks that you think are just kind of like forgotten, whatever, off to the wayside, like those are sometimes the tracks that people love the most. And like, you would never know unless somebody is like, comes up to you and says, "This is my shit." And you're just like, okay, wow, that's crazy. Like I saw a video, and I'll get to how Avant Gardner was.
Yeah.
But I saw a video of John Mayer, like at a concert somewhere. And there was a fan that was like, "Can you play one of these songs?" And there was like a 3 and a 2 and a 1.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, "Which one should I play, 3, 2, or 1?" And the person was just like, "Just pick one. Just pick one. Just pick one." And I guess it's like a choose your own adventure type thing.
Yeah.
And they were, all 3 songs were like super deep dives.
Yeah.
Like tracks that he doesn't play anymore, really, like not the big John Mayer songs. And he was just like, just out of curiosity, let me see what the other 2 are. And he was just like, wow, out of everything, those are the 3. And
that is so interesting.
And then he wound up playing the one that like the person secretly really wanted. Right. So like of the 3. So like, again, it's crazy how music finds people.
Yeah, and what connects with different people,
Yeah, and it like gives me faith moving forward. Like whenever a track doesn't have like crazy big numbers right out the gate, like, it will find people.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely. There's like, nothing I love more than getting a random comment on like a past cat calls or something that I've posted to YouTube, and someone's just like, "Oh my God, I love this DJ. Thank you so much. I can't believe I found this." And I'm just like, I made it for you. I did this for you. Thank you.
I specifically knew that you
I've been watching you.
I love Blowjob 69. That you love this DJ.
You left the lights on in the bathroom, by the way. You should go turn them off. Well, not you. I can't see your bathroom. All I see is a vaporwave fever dream.
As soon as I turned around and realized that was my background, I was like, there's no way she can see my bathroom. And it's like, oh, no shit, there's like a background here. But I actually did turn around because right before this, I did use the bathroom.
You've got to.
I was like, did I leave the light on?
Yeah, that's the last thing before any stream is, one quick, I'm not getting out of this chair for a while, so.
Yeah, really quick trip to the bathroom. I know that I'm going to drink an ice cold liquid death while I'm sitting down.
The entire thing because it's so delicious.
Yeah, you got to murder your thirst,
Everyone, this is because, you know what? This is the annual tradition becoming a drinking game actively before our eyes. Like, everyone take a sip when they sip. How do you feel about our annual tradition? I love it. I love that we just got to keep this going. I can't wait for you to become, like, the voice of a generation, and, like, no one can get an interview with you, and I'm just like, we're still on for December, right?
Yeah, I'm going to, you're waiting for the moment that I turn into Anna What's-Her-Face from Inventing Anna.
Oh, yeah.
With all the money, it's like, I guess I'll let you interview me, even though you're poor.
Yeah, exactly. Only if you do it in that accent the entire time.
Yeah.
You'll just put him in jail.
I'm spending all my time in Monaco right now.
I just have this jail cell background for fun.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Wait, that's a good question to ask you, though. Not why are you so obsessed with me, but what were your favorite movies and TV shows of this year? Because I know you are a giant cinemaphile. You are actually a film major. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Barbie?
Barbie is in my top 10.
Of course.
For sure. I mean, should I pull up my Letterboxd? Okay.
What do I need to watch that I didn't already watch this year? Because trust me, it's a short list of things I actually saw.
So here's the thing. TV for me is like the one thing I always fall behind on.
Fair.
I'm usually pretty up to date when it comes to movies. So like TV for me, the shows that I watched that I really liked the new season, or the last season, I should say, of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which I finally got around to watching.
That still. Thank you for reminding me.
That show for me is like very much like a comfort food type of show for me. I just love the pacing. It's also Amy Sherman Palladino, who famously wrote Gilmore Girls and was the showrunner for that show. So, like, I just really love Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and it's not because I think Rachel Brosnahan's a total snack.
That's just a bonus. That's just a garnish.
That has nothing to do with the show, like 0%. Or the fact that Stephanie Hsu from Everything Everywhere All at Once is in that show, like, has nothing to do with it. Call me. But the last season of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel was fabulous. I watched this series that I guess came out last year, but I saw like a clip of it on TikTok, and I was like, oh, that seems interesting. Called Maid, and it stars Margaret Qualley. And she basically plays like this young mother who escapes an abusive relationship, and she's trying to rebuild her whole life. Incredible show. Huge fan of that. Huge fan of that show. I watched Succession, start to finish over the span of a week. I actually just finished that like last week or the week before.
Oh my gosh. How good is that fucking show? Was that ending this year? Was that in the double Ted Lasso Succession finale in 1 week? Crushed me.
I did watch Ted Lasso as well. I thought the last season was very good.
I thought it was very sweet. They did a good job.
Yeah, they did a good job. Like, when you have a show that's that popular and you straight up say this is going to be the last season, and you still have all these threads that you have to tie up, like they did a very good job.
They did, and I like that they made little winks at the camera for like the way that the plot has a way that it goes every time, you know. At the end, she's like, this is where you give me a speech about whatever. And he's like, not actually this year.
I also really loved the series, season 2, which wound up being the series finale of Loki. I think as somebody who is a comic book obsessed person, I've kind of been watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe unravel in some ways, like in real time, just like in terms of quality and storytelling. And Loki somehow managed to stick the landing.
So good. Don't spoil. I didn't realize the second season came out, so I'm going to have to watch it.
Yeah.
But that show was fantastic. Yeah.
I was bawling, just tears. But you asked me about my top 10 of the year.
I did.
So it's probably going to change a tiny bit because there's like a few movies that I'm like on the fence about. But as it stands, as of tonight, my top 10 bangers.
All right, here we go. In no particular order. No hurt feelings.
In no particular order, okay, are Barbie.
Of course.
Godzilla -1.
Ooh, I didn't see that. I love Godzilla. We have the same birthday.
Monica, Priscilla.
Oh, I want to see that too.
The Holdovers, Theater Camp, Bottoms, Evil Dead Rise, Saltburn, and Poor Things.
Damn. Oh, I need to see Poor Things still too. That just came out, didn't it?
Yeah, it's when you really boil down my list, though, like there is a thread in here that I figured out.
Yeah, what is it?
Between Barbie, Monica, Theater Camp, Bottoms, Evil Dead Rise, Saltburn, and Poor Things.
What do these things all have together in common?
There's just this like really chaotic, queer like energy that like just goes through all of it. Like here's Barbie, which is Barbie. I don't need to explain anything more about that. Then there's Monica, which is this amazing portrait of a trans woman visiting her family home because her mother has dementia.
Wow.
And she left before she transitioned.
Oh, wow.
And so she's like helping her mother, even though her mother doesn't recognize her. Her mother thinks she's just a new person.
Wow, that's
like,
fucking crazy. I'm definitely gonna watch that.
In her life, it's a beautiful movie, and it deserves more awards recognition than it's getting currently. And that's not being biased. I think it's actually just a very tight, poignant movie.
Yeah.
And also the best use of the Zuma Zuma song I've heard in a very long time.
Like,
like Zuma Zuma gay, Zuma Zuma Zuma.
Yeah.
Zuma,
oh yeah.
Maria,
Wow. That's what I was gonna say. That song. Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out.
And then
The mid
Theater
2000s.
Camp. Theater Camp is Theater Camp. If you've seen it, you know. Bottoms is Bottoms. If you've seen it, you know. Then there's Evil Dead Rise. Every character in that movie is gay. Like somewhere on the spectrum.
That's right. I watched that one. Yeah. That's the one with the family in the house. And then the kid that's like not descriptive at all. The son, is it the son? The brother reads the book or something, and then.
So the brother is played by a non-binary person, and they play this record. So instead of a book, it was like they discovered this record.
Right. Yes,
or whatever.
that's right.
And they play the record.
Ooh, shouldn't have done that.
And by the way, they introduce the character. They're learning how to DJ, and they're scratching over a live version of Dance Yourself Clean by LCD Sound System. It's the Madison Square Garden recording. And I remember screaming in the theater because that means not only do they have the limited edition box set of this Madison Square Garden,
scratching on it.
but they're scratching over it. And I'm just like, do you know how expensive that record is? That box set, unopened, is worth hundreds of dollars. Like, I got it when it was brand new, and I had to get it ordered, like shipped to me through Discogs from Italy, and it was like $300.
That's fucking crazy.
When it first came out.
Wow.
Okay, so like there was this kid scratching on. No. I was screaming at that
that
point.
That was the scariest part of the movie.
At this point, I was like, this kid deserves to die. I'm sorry. They deserve whatever they're about to get. But yeah,
God.
Everybody in that family was super gay.
That does
I refuse.
Yeah, you're right. It was a hella gay family.
It was a hella gay family. And then Saltburn is Saltburn, which is just bathtub. And then Poor Things is Poor Things.
Yeah.
Which is just like
Can you do movie reviews that use no words? It's just you like gutturally reacting to the film. Start doing that on your socials.
Just me on TikTok, just being like, "This is my Saltburn review."
Exactly. I saw a lady do that with books one time, and honestly, I nailed it. Like, gotcha. No, that's great. I'm gonna add all of those to my watch list, and maybe I'll get to watch them by the end of 2024.
Yeah, and then like The Holdovers, which I kind of breezed over. The Holdovers is an Alexander Payne movie. It's the same guy who did like Election and The Descendants, and I just love his movies. It's the new movie from him, and I see it as possibly becoming like a new Christmas classic.
Ooh, okay.
Like it's like it takes place in the 70s. It honestly feels like a movie that had been unearthed, that was maybe made in the 70s.
So cool.
Like it feels that way. Like it feels like a movie that's from another time. And it's Paul Giamatti just like reading people for filth and being a cunt. It's
love that. Amazing. Yeah. Okay, wait, I'm going to watch that.
So good.
Immediately. If it's a Christmas movie, 'tis the season.
Yeah. It's like a great, it'll give you the warm, fuzzy feelings, but it's definitely a little bit more cynical.
Yeah.
Like it's
like a Bad Santa, but not like that.
not as crude as Bad Santa. It's a little bit smarter than Bad Santa, I would have to say.
That's my go-to Christmas movie, though. I fucking love that stupid movie.
Well, my go-to Christmas movies are my top 4 on Letterboxd right now.
Of course.
So you get to pick a top 4 on your profile.
Oh, that's cute. It's like shout out MySpace.
So like right now,
I can't see. All I see is MS Paint. There we go.
Never mind. It's Carol. They're all movies that are either Christmas or Christmas coded. Okay, so
Christmas coded movies. I've got Christmas coded lighting. Yeah.
Carol, Edward Scissorhands, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and Hook.
Oh, I remember you sharing all of this and saying that you consider Hook to be a Christmas movie, and I was like, that's my sign to rewatch Hook, one of my all-time favorites. Yeah,
I think Hook is 100% a Christmas movie. It takes place at Christmas, and it's a movie about family and the importance of family, and it has like that kind of like magical. I want to say Santa Claus on a Coke bottle kind of
totally
feeling vibe to it. Like I consider it a Christmas movie for sure.
Love that. I'm definitely gonna pull that up in the evenings to come.
We are not talking about music at all.
I was just gonna say, I know this became a movie podcast. I want to know what your top 3 moments of your year are.
Oh gosh.
Let's have a reflection moment.
Just period or specifically music related?
I mean, we can say period if you want to share.
Okay, so there's a few things that stand out. I played Lightning in a Bottle the very first
I've
time.
always heard that festival was great.
And that festival was incredible. I did microdose shrooms. I was only there for 2 of the 4 days. It was a really magical experience. It was very pure. I feel like there weren't a lot of bad actors, like people specifically there to like ruin other people's lives. And I'm talking about like, pickpocketers or, whatever. It was just I hate to be the person that says this, but the vibes were immaculate.
Yeah, they honestly were.
Yeah, it was very good. I played an amazing set on this stage called the Woogie Stage, which is where like a lot of the house people play. And I remember the programming for that day was incredible. It was me, followed by Mary Droppins, followed by Nala, followed by LPGOB.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I remember everyone kind of like looking around.
That's a hard stage to leave, yeah.
Yeah, looking around in the moment and just being like, did we just watch 8 hours of female excellence? And it was just like presented to us as a normal thing.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't like look, we made a girl stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Pat ourselves
it was just
on back. Yeah, that shit's my least favorite. Yeah. And
I have to shout out, there's somebody named Tadia who, I don't know if she still works for Dulab, but she was instrumental in making that happen, based off the conversations that I've had with her and other people. Mm-hmm. And it really goes to show kind of the magic that can happen when you have individuals programming with inclusivity as like your leading
North Star,
as your like North Star. And you do it in a way that's authentic and not like cheap.
Right.
So that was an amazing thing that I'm probably going to remember for a long time. I want to say, I'm just going to say just the name Chris Lorenzo.
Shout out Chris. Shout out that Chris.
Talk about a human who is so giving and so warm and so thoughtful with the things that he has to share with other people. And I've had the incredible fortune of playing with him not once but twice this past year, both in New York, both sold out shows, one at Elsewhere, one at Avant Gardner. And just the people that he surrounds himself with are just so professional and so nice and like so no nonsense about their beliefs and like how things need to be. And it's just like that for me was a very eye-opening experience and something that I am probably going to like take with me to the grave. And if he ever watches this episode, Chris, I want to play with you again. Let's work on music. Let's do something.
Let's make it happen.
He was an incredibly wonderful part of my year. And
what's number 3? It's a test. Don't get it wrong.
I'm just going to say having a release on Southern Fried Records.
Yeah, that's huge. Way to end the year on a great note.
Not to bring it back to what we were talking about earlier in this conversation, but as somebody who was born in 1990, growing up through the 90s, like getting through the mid to late 90s into the early 2000s, I feel like whether or not you acknowledged it or not, Fatboy Slim as an artist was like just someone that you always heard.
Yeah.
Either on the radio or on TV or in commercials or in movies or whatever. And it was like, I feel like his music for a long time was like, oh, we need a dance type beat. Let's use Fatboy Slim.
Mm-hmm.
And so whether or not you realized it, you were listening to him.
Yeah.
And that informed my, at an early age, my opinion of music and what it could be like. Now as an adult, I can look back on it and be like, wow, I was a kid who appreciated big beat breaks. Good for me. But like,
yeah.
But like, I definitely think that the music
there you go.
that I listened to. Sorry.
No, you froze for just 1 second, so I got scared.
Looking back at the music that I listened to on the school bus, like obviously I was listening to like Blink-182 or Eminem or whatever, but like because of Fatboy Slim, I was also listening to songs like "Start the Commotion" by the Wise Guys, or like Basement Jaxx, or Chemical Brothers.
Yep.
Because like that was all kind of related, and because he was popular, it was making those artists popular, and so those artists were showing up on like the Now That's What I Call Music compilations.
Yeah.
Which,
before we had Housework, the playlist, we had Now That's What I Call Music, the CD that you can order over the phone because it wasn't even the internet yet.
And now we kind of like joke about it, we clown about it, but I feel like for an entire generation of kids, those Now compilations like informed like it informed our taste.
Yeah.
Like because like you would get one of those.
Too.
Yeah, you would get one of those and you'd have like 20 brand new songs, and like sometimes they'd be unedited. So like you'd be like, oh, this one has curse words, freaking sick. And
so real.
And so you're just being exposed to like tracks that like aren't even on the radio. Like they say that's what they call music, but like was Clint Eastwood by Gorillaz really played on pop radio? Like I don't know.
It was played on MTV for sure. That video was a moment. It scared my friend during a sleepover. I remember that much. He was like, I don't like this. I was like, I love it.
You need to tell your friend to stop being a little bitch.
I'll time travel and I'll say that to her.
But anyway,
she's like 11.
kind of like moving forward, Fatboy Slim, like when I graduated college, he had that huge track with Calvin Harris, Eat, Sleep, Rave, Repeat.
Yeah, that was
which like
one.
For a long time kind of like redefined dance music again. Like definitely set Calvin Harris on a certain trajectory for sure. And so like he's always kind of been like somewhere like in the background. And like it just like I don't know. So for me it was a big deal as somebody who, you know,
it's a fucking big deal.
Yeah, who buys the 12 inches, like whenever I see the Southern Fried sticker like in a record store. That's what I was trying to say earlier.
Right.
Like whenever I see that sticker on a vinyl, like on like a single or a white label or something, I buy it just out of because I'm like, oh, this will be good.
Yeah.
Like because it's like it's a seal of approval.
Yeah.
Like if it's got Fatboy Slim's like seal of approval, it's probably good.
And that's so, you.
Yeah, and so now it's kind of like come full circle in a way that's like, you know, kind of beautiful. And I'm just very thankful that I have that. I will also say as an honorable mention, playing there was this stage at this festival called Project Glow that I played. Project Glow is kind of like my hometown festival. It's the big Insomniac festival that happens in DC. for the last 2 years. And they built a new stage this year called the Secret Garden, and it was like their counter programming stage to like the big massive stages at either end of the festival grounds. And I headlined that stage on the second night.
That's awesome.
And I got to play like a 2.5 hour long set.
Wow.
And I was competing with the likes of like, I think it was like Madian on one stage and like Dom Dalla at the other, and like it was packed. Like there were tons of people there for my set.
That's fucking awesome.
It was in the rain, so like people were just getting like really nasty and just jamming out in the rain. It was a really kind of like picture perfect moment. Like it's how I would imagine playing a crowded stage at Glastonbury.
I was just going to say that. Like, and I've never even been there, so I don't know why that's what I had thought of. Yeah. I guess because it's just so legendarily
well, we're music people, right?
Yeah.
Like we hear the stories
via
of like,
osmosis.
What Glastonbury is like.
Yeah.
And like we've seen the documentaries and the photos and like we hear from other DJs.
Should we go? Like. We should go.
I would love to play Glastonbury.
Fucking
let's go.
You get booked.
2024. Let's make it happen.
Let's go. That's my next question is, and I know traditionally we could go for hours and hours and hours, but I do have to dog sit somebody's dog, so I can't take forever tonight. But I want to hear. I'm just me and my dogs. What are you hoping for in the year to come? Last year you gave this beautiful speech about all the things that you hoped would happen. And I tried to pinpoint that exact moment in last year's Cat Call so I could be like, let's do a checklist. What did we get and what are we still working on? But I couldn't figure it out. So what?
Well, you know what? I think last year I had mentioned like a whole list of people I wanted to work with.
Yeah.
And some of those people were like inactive. One of those people just came back into music. We have like Beth Ditto and Gossip making music.
That's right.
Again.
You did shout.
So like,
you did.
So like Beth Ditto, if you ever see this, I want to work. Like, let's work together, please. But I think there's like 3 big things I want to get done this year, right? Which are international bookings. I'm trying to play outside of the U.S.
Yes.
And we'll see if that happens.
Glastonbury.
I'm in the process of reapplying for my passport. So that's been a process.
Yeah. Well, I hope you get your passport in 2024.
The second thing is I am like neck deep in an album. So I've already put out one album on my record label Chub Rub that came out in 2019. That was called Phases. And that was like, it was very much a freshman album. Mm-hmm. Like it was kind of raw around the edges. There wasn't like a clear through line. Like, it was just like, here are songs.
Yeah.
And this second album, I'm kind of like envisioning, I hate to compare it to other things, but I'm comparing it to like Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness.
Well, that is right up my alley.
So, like, I think right now we're up to 21 tracks on this album.
Hell yeah.
And there will probably be more tracks, and we'll cut it back down, obviously, like, as I'm continuing to develop
40 tracks. Fuck it. 4 sides.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it might be a very expansive album, but album number 2, hopefully by the end of the year.
That's a great goal.
And the third thing that I'm pulling for this year is I really just want them to bring back all-day breakfast at McDonald's. It's been too long.
The people need their all-day breakfast. Listen, it's dark days in America right now. And the one thing that will brighten everyone's life and warm everyone's clogged hearts
is all day breakfast. I'm also pulling for more Bojangles locations.
Ooh, yeah.
Specifically in the Atlanta airport.
Let's
because they have one in the international terminal, but they don't have one in any of the other terminals, and it's really frustrating. I don't want to have to get on the plane train just to go from one terminal to grab my Bojangles during a 30-minute layover.
Oh my God.
And then rush to my plane.
What are your top 3 airports of the year, Miss Traveling DJ?
Top 3 most hated or top 3 most...
Whatever comes to mind first. Is your top 3 most hated list always rotating? Like you know it instantly?
I don't like Dallas Fort Worth.
Fair. It's not a great one. I'm right there with you.
I do not like DFW. And it basically comes down to the fact that they don't have a lot of gender neutral bathrooms, and it's Texas.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not trying to go into the women's restroom in an open carry state and have a gun pulled on me. Sorry. Because I know that my existence, for some reason, threatens other women. I don't get it. I'm a pudgy, sweaty woman who's just trying to poop in between fights. Like, I'm not here to fight you. I'm not here to do anything other than something unforgivable to a toilet. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do. My managers and my agent are going to hear this part of the thing, and they're
they
going to
already told you last year to stop talking about poop. I do solemnly swear I will talk about poop 20% less in 2024. Everybody poops, and that's the truth.
No. Like, but in all sincerity, like, DFW needs to do a better job of having more gender neutral bathrooms. They're spaced way far apart. The other airport I don't really particularly care for is Miami International Airport.
You know what? I'm so glad I live so close to Fort Lauderdale, but sometimes I do have to take Miami, and it is always rough.
And the other airport I don't particularly care for, and I'm sorry, it's another Florida airport. MCO.
Oh, yeah. That one's the fucking worst.
And, like, a lot of people crap on Atlanta, like the Atlanta airport. They're like, oh, my God, it's so, like, Atlanta airport is so easy to get around if you're just, like, willing to walk past people.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the people in the hallways, they walk entirely too slow. I get that. Walk around them. My favorite airports, though, in no order, I love the Detroit airport.
Oh.
Specifically that terminal where it's just like one straight shot. I love when I get connections in that airport, like when I buy a ticket, I'm not paying attention to like where the connections are. Whenever I find out I have a connection in that airport, I'm like, fuck yeah. It runs. Listen, it's because people in Michigan, they're used to bad weather. So they prepare. They're prepared. And like things always run on time. Like I love the Detroit airport. I really like, and this is a controversial opinion, but I kind of like LAX. Like, I can hear people saying like, no, you don't have to. She's not, people are going to be like, she's not from LA. She doesn't understand the hell of like picking someone up from it. It's like, you know what?
But that's a different subject.
That's part of the reason why I like LAX. I don't have to deal with that.
Exactly.
I just have to deal with getting there. But I like the layout of LAX. I've never had a hard time like getting through TSA or anything. Like it's usually easy breezy, beautiful cover girl for me. I like SeaTac.
Oh yeah.
SeaTac is a pretty decent airport. If we're talking New York airports, I prefer to come into LaGuardia instead of JFK. I don't particularly care for JFK. It's nothing like against JFK as an airport. LaGuardia is just nicer in my opinion.
Yeah.
When we're talking DC airports, I go to BWI because it's closer to where I live, but I prefer Reagan. I think the layout of Reagan is better.
And that's the only time she ever said that sentence.
Yeah. I can
talking
tell you
presidents.
Yeah, I can tell you I do not like Dulles. Dulles is so far and out of the way. It's like, yes, getting like Dulles is nice if you have to pick someone up because it's just like super easy to pick someone. Oh, hellish airport, Denver. Denver's airport.
Denver airport and I have beef.
Denver is so far away from the city center.
Yeah.
It's like a 45-minute Uber. The Uber is always expensive.
Yeah.
And, or you can take that train that takes 3 years.
It's just,
to get
it's
from,
not, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not great. I've been stuck there overnight as well, twice. Also, the horse killed someone. Also, there's always turbulence going in and out of Denver, and I hate that.
The turbulence doesn't bother me.
And
if
no
I die,
food
I die.
after 10 p.m., Joey says. Bullshit.
Oh, what?
Joey says no food after 10 p.m. At the Denver airport as well.
A lot of airports.
That's
Airports have no food after 10
We're trying
p.m.
to eat. What was the
It's
airport?
like-
You and I ran into each other at SFO. We were on the
Atlanta.
same flight. Were we flying out of San Francisco into?
We were flying
Atlanta?
out of San Francisco. It was the same weekend Portola happened. It was you were beaten and battered like chicken parm. Someone just took a mallet to you and fried the shit out
I
of
couldn't
you.
believe you were sitting there.
And we made everybody so uncomfortable on that plane too, because you stopped and I was like, oh my god, and it became like a whole thing. And then I was also WWE had just had Monday Night Raw in San Jose that same night, and I think I told you this when we got on the plane. I was sitting 3 rows behind Nia Jax, who is like. Oh my god, she's mother. And so like I was so starstruck that entire plane. I was like trying to figure out like ways to like not be a creep because it was a red eye.
True.
I'm not gonna wake someone up and be like, "Are you Neil Jax?"
Well, I look forward to figuring, to randomly running into you somewhere in 2024. Unannounced and unplanned.
We always run into each other, and it's so great when it happens because it's also in places you would never expect to run into one another.
Oh, is it 3 a.m.? Are you about to get into an Uber on a fucking bender in LA? Baby Ray's pulling up. When they were like, you have to get off this couch because Baby Wait needs to sleep here, I was like, actually, we'd be good. It would be fine.
Actually, that's the one woman I'm willing to sleep with.
No, but yeah, I look forward to whatever the future holds for us.
That's great. We're gonna be like at a gas station somewhere where you'll be going this way and I'll be going that way, and it'll just so happen to be filling up. And it's like, what are you doing here? I'm buying sunflower seeds. What are you doing?
I'm buying my 3rd Starbucks double shot of the day. I'm driving for the next 20 hours. No.
Is that your go-to gas station drink of choice? Is the Starbucks double shot?
If I'm trying to get, energized, yes.
I've really been feeling yerba mate recently.
Yeah, I need to give that more of a shot, to be honest.
Yeah, the yerba mates are there's a lot of caffeine. If you drink more than one, your heart starts to like.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I have to watch that stuff.
They're so refreshing though. It's like Snapple that'll whoop your ass.
And that should be the tagline. Yerba Mate, if you're listening, we're available for sponsorships in 2024.
It's like Snapple that'll whoop your ass. Yerba Mate.
Shout out. I hope it has Snapple Yerba facts under the cap.
That's so great. Oh.
Listen, Liquid Death. Listen.
Liquid Death will murder your thirst.
I've got to call this, but on the way out, you were generous and you decided to share with us a song that's not out until 3 hours from now.
True, yeah.
Featuring your friend who you were watching the Titanic with.
Sure, yeah. So a little bit of context for this. Remnique is an artist. They're part of the City Soul Collective in Brooklyn, which is the bus that goes around. It's like, do you remember when Fortet and Skrillex and Fred again did that thing in Times Square?
That's the bus.
That's the bus.
That's so cool.
So Remnique is part of this collective based in Brooklyn. They have a monthly party at Silo, which is this new venue that opened, and it's really cool. I saw it this past weekend. And their music is very much informed by Brooklyn. So it has like a little touch of indie dance here, a little touch of like bass here, a little touch of house, a little touch of techno, a little touch of disco. Like,
I love that.
They're a very eclectic person. And they are also very open with their non-binary identity. And so they wrote this track called Not a Boy. And it's kind of like their coming out song almost is like maybe the best way of putting it. And obviously I, as a transgender person, as a tranny, as some people in the streets would call me.
You said it, not me.
It's okay. I'm reclaiming tranny in 2024.
Is that what we're doing? Are we bringing it back? I'll let you start it.
And so I'm reclaiming that fucking word. I'm not going to let other people use it against me. Okay?
It is a fun word.
It is.
When said with love and respect. Yikes! And this is how I get canceled. Thank you. I walked right into
Yeah, exactly. So, but they, as somebody who is transgender, obviously their story resonates with me on a personal level. And I just love them as a human. I've been friends with them for a very long time. And I made it a point when I said that we were going to start releasing records on Chub Rub again, that we were only going to release music that felt personal to the person who made it. So like, we're not going to be releasing records that feel like an imitation of someone else. We want records that feel like they could only be made by the person who submitted it.
I love that.
And so this is our second release after going on hiatus. I was asked to do a remix for it. Obviously, I run the label, so I was the deciding factor as to whether or not I would do it, and I said yes. And yeah, I've played it out a couple of times. It gets good reaction. I love that my remix is not perfect. There's parts of the song that aren't quote unquote on the grid necessarily. So like, there's like some imperfections in there. And I think that kind of adds to the nature of the song because just like life, music can also be messy. And just like discovering your gender on a personal journey, it's not going to be perfect. And there's going to be like things that are here. And that's me explaining why the song isn't perfect.
Yeah, you're like, it's actually a conceptual choice. And
it's actually bad on purpose. it's hard to listen to because I wanted it that way.
Because you should be challenged.
Not because when I bounced the stems, there was something wrong with the audio, or because there was something on the effects chain that shouldn't have been there.
We're taking that attitude into 2024 for sure.
But all kidding aside, like I'm really happy about this release. I'm happy that this is that this remix is the thing that I'm ending this year with.
Yeah.
Especially since I made so many like very like upfront vocal stances with my music.
Yeah.
I think this is a good way to cap off the year, and I'm really excited to see what happens with this. I'm really hoping that, like Slay for Me, it kind of takes a life of its own and finds people. You know, I make music for the girls and the gays and the bays and the goths and
Yes.
the dweebs and the birds and the lizard people. And, you know, if a straight, white, cisgender, heterosexual guy likes my music, but it's not for you. Like, it's cool. It's cool that you're here, and I'm glad that you like it because you spend money historically. However, you're a guest in this space that I'm creating.
Yeah.
So be respectful. Don't be like the people that come into my TikTok lives and say, "Are you a boy or a girl?"
Oh. Well, this remix is for
happens.
those people.
This, if anything, putting on a track that says "not a boy" is like, please see my track, "Not a Boy."
Yeah, exactly.
Please see the remix that I did of "Not a Boy."
Now
and
on
come
all
on.
DSPs.
Out now on all discs.
All discs. I'm sorry, that's
Oh,
just my
can I
disc. That's my disc. I know how to say it.
That's just my disc.
That's my disc.
Oh, look at your disposition.
You know. Thank you.
That would be a great name for a distributor. Is disposition.
That is
but
so
it's DSP and then position. Yeah.
DSP position. Yeah.
Disposition. Yeah.
That's so
Guys.
good.
Guys.
This is how we make our first million.
This is how we make our first million. It's not going to be all day breakfast at McDonald's.
Oh, darn it.
It's yeah. Have I ever asked you this question? I know you gotta run, but
Yeah.
can I ask you this question before we go?
We can try.
Have you ever thought about what you are doing in an alternate universe job wise? Like what is your
Yeah.
what is Kat in the mirror universe doing?
Well, I think if being a teacher paid any money and wasn't the worst job in America, I would consider it. I really do like teaching folks. But in the true alternate universe, a marine biologist. A deep sea marine biologist. I fucking love all of the creatures that live below the like sunlight threshold, and there's so many crazy like bioluminescent alien creatures, and I just feel like exploring the depths of the oceans would be an incredible way to spend one's life. Although the idea of going in a submarine kind of horrifies me. So
Sure.
Not sure I would actually have the guts to do that. Even before the Titanic thing happened this year.
Before the implosion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I love that as a concept.
So follow-up question to that. Did the movie, did you enjoy Avatar: The Way of Water? Because I feel like
I didn't watch it.
Oh,
I know.
Kat.
I like distinctly did not like the first Avatar. So
Sure,
I
but
just
so
never
so
thought
much
about
of this
watching the sequel.
so much of this new movie is just like underwater photography.
Oh,
It's
well
like
then I need to
so
watch it. Yeah.
it's so great. It's a shame that you didn't see it in the theater in IMAX 3D the way it's supposed to be seen.
Right.
Um,
Well, I live close to an IMAX theater. Maybe one day they'll just be showing it for shits and giggles.
like it wouldn't be the first time. I know that when the first Avatar came out, they did like, a re-release like a year later and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You never know.
If
But
it comes out, I will go because you said so.
it's like, I'm telling you, I don't know how they managed to do it, but they somehow made everything feel like, like when you're at an aquarium and then you go below the waterline
Yeah.
and there's just like fish that are around you and it's just like dark and blue and just surrounded by fish. It's like that.
Oh.
It mirrored that. It was just like, oh my God, I can touch the little tentacles.
Okay, you've got me. You've got me. I'll see
it's
this
cool.
movie. I'll see this movie. What would your alternative universe self be doing?
Part of me wants to say that I would do something involved with movies.
Oh,
but
yeah.
but that's like the easy answer. I think
Right.
in all reality, if I could do things over, I would want to be like a Claire Saffitz or a Maddie Matheson. Like there's just something like about food that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Specifically like comfort food. So like I would want to be like maybe like the grilled cheese magician or something. Just like someone who's just like really good at.
I love that. Don't you ever say never to that, though. Like, deep sea marine biologist, that's so much work. I'm not going to do that. Being the grilled cheese magician, I could fucking see that for you in 10 years if you really want, if you thought, maybe that's just your side hustle. DJ Tennis is really good at cooking. Like, you could have a restaurant as well as be a touring DJ. Like,
so when you're saying when I age out of being a DJ because they only want DJs that are young,
they only want you when you're 17. Yeah.
When I age out of it, that's what I pivot to.
Listen, DJs talk about quitting one day, but then they just don't. Look at Tiesto.
Sure, but that's like Tiesto. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I don't see very many. Seriously, I don't see very many women DJs that are over the age of like 45.
Yeah.
Like there's very few like that are like operating at a level.
Right. Like what?
That's
How old's Annie
above,
Mac?
Huh?
How old is Annie Mac? But she's the one. She's the one that we can think of.
I want to say, okay, so she was in her...
I love her, though. She is just, like, out here, like, listen, we party, we go home at midnight, we raise our kids,
I want to say she's in her 40s. I want to say she's in her 40s.
I think so.
And I don't want to speak for Nicole Moudaber, but I think Nicole Moudaber might be in her 40s. And I know that Annie Nightingale, while not a traditional DJ, I don't think, and maybe British people might come for me for saying this, I know that Annie Nightingale has been a radio personality for years. I'm unsure how many DJ gigs she's done.
Yeah.
But like it's just like female DJs operating at a very specific level. I feel it's a much smaller pool than say men DJs.
Well, let's just listen, all these ladies out here now, you're all gonna have to just keep it up.
Like maybe Honey Dijon. I think Honey Dijon is like, she's definitely in her 40s, I think. And I know Maria, the Blessed Madonna, they're in their 40s. So like there's some.
And there will be yet more. But not you yet. And not me yet, although I'm getting there. We're pushing it.
I'll be 34 in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
Wow, happy early birthday.
Yeah, thank you. I don't look a day older than 32.
Are you like a New Year's Eve baby?
I think I was actually born early. I think I was supposed to be like an Aquarius, and I somehow wound up being a Capricorn.
Oh, that's okay.
Good for me, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aquarius, can't trust him.
Woo! I've been there.
Oh, yeah? You don't do well with Aquarius?
I do well, and then I don't. I don't know. It starts off great. I am an Aquarius rising, so honestly, I'm not talking any shit.
Okay, but like, you strike me as a...
Are you reading my sign or the signs I'm DTF?
You a Libra?
I'm not.
Okay, so what are you?
You can't really see it on my head right now. I'm a Scorpio.
But see, that makes sense.
Does it?
Scorpio makes sense. I could see you getting like really territorial if like somebody like came for you or one of your friends.
For sure.
I could see you being like, oh, that person talks shit about you. It's okay. We'll just key their car.
Yeah. We'll just low-key ruin their lives.
Did you see, I might get canceled for this. Did you see, there was, I think it was Matt Rife who made the joke.
Oh, everyone's talking about his terrible jokes right now.
Where it was like a domestic violence joke.
Oh, God. No, I didn't actually see it. I've just heard that he said terrible things.
And I hate to be that person, but it was actually funny. It was a funny joke.
I'll have to watch it just to watch it and see.
And it's like, and that's coming from somebody who thinks domestic violence is horrible.
Yeah.
But like, when I heard that, I was just like, man, that is
wrong.
That is low key funny. I think the joke was like, I don't understand why a boyfriend would beat his girlfriend that's like keying your own car. I know I butchered the joke, but like, in a way, it makes sense. Like I'm sitting there going like, yeah.
Just cutting your nose to spite. On that note,
somebody is going to screen grab that and just put it out there.
That's the only thing. And here I am laughing. We're done. The cat calls.
We're done. We're done. I think personally, I disclaimer, Matt Rife. Sure, whatever, fine. But like, I don't know. I've heard jokes that are worse. That's the thing. I've heard things that are worse.
I've heard worse.
Dave Chappelle has done 3 specials that are so much worse than that one joke. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm getting canceled. The more I open my mouth, the more I'm getting canceled.
Reel it in.
My God. Oh, God. Liquid Death. Sponsor me. Severed Line. Murder Your Thirst. I just realized that because the can is green.
No, I've seen it all night. It's just right now. Right now it looks like you're just like pure Arizona iced tea. Drinking nothing.
I mean, we set the tone when the intro video was made.
That was foreshadowing. That
was foreshadowing. They were just like, she's unhinged this year.
And what will it be next year? We'll have to wait to see. But we will see.
I'll tell you what it'll probably be. More of us not talking about music. That's for sure. I feel bad for all the people tuning in looking for, like some real advice about music or how to make it in the industry or my process and all they got out of this was just like, man, she's a low-key Matt Rife supporter and she wants to bring back McDonald's breakfast. And she's a shill for.
Those are the key points. If you remember anything about Baby Weight in 2023, we'll pull these up. We'll do like with Billie Eilish and Vogue. We'll start showing your responses over time, and you can react to yourself as the years go on.
It's just me turning.
And then when you're
more
married to Matt Rife one day, it'll be like, well, that's very funny the way that worked out.
That would never happen because
Rife's journey. Okay. Melissa will one day be a wonderful part of the crew.
Matt Rife low-key looks like handsome Squidward.
He kind of does.
Like
Amazing.
Handsome Squidward with hair. Yeah, just over the years as you compile each new Vogue interview, I just start progressing, looking more and more like Roseanne Barr over time. Just like, wow, she went from being like actually kind of funny to just being really unhinged and going on rants on like super conservative news networks.
This is the beginning. You're going to be the next Fox and Friends guest.
They'd be like, see, we have one trans person on here. We can't be transphobic.
Exactly.
This is our one trans friend. Just to prove. And I replaced Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, exactly. Just as athletic though. All right, I've got to go. I've got to save this dog.
Go save that dog.
I can't wait to run into you somewhere. It's going to be
Fun.
great. And we're going to listen to this Not a Boy remix. Thank you for helping me close out the year once again. It's not a year-end celebration without you.
We do need to come up with some questions that you ask every year.
We should.
So that we can do the comparison thing.
Yes. Well, I like the. I'll bring that up next year. But I like asking about your favorite moments and your hopes for next year. But we'll get some specifics. I'll research.
Good. Glad.
I'll be a professional next year. I promise.
Be a music journalist.
One of these days.
One of these days.
All right. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
What a good time. That's it. That's the end of Cat Calls. Joey, thank you. Everyone who was watching and didn't say anything in the chat, thank you. Everyone who's watching this later, if you're still here, thank you. Let me know what your favorite parts of the year were in the comments. Let me know what you want to see next year. Hit me up on the socials. It's going to be a big Super Cat World year. We're going to listen to Not a Boy. I'm going to go get some dinner. I'm done with my wine. I'm going to let this dog out to pee. And I will see you here. Same cat time, same cat channel in 2024. But in the meantime, I'll be showing up in your inbox if you're subscribed to Cat Scrawls. And I've got some other fun tricks up my sleeve. So stay tuned. I love you. I'll see you on the internet. Not a boy. Still not a boy. What can I say?